The Ford F-150 is Edmunds' top-rated pickup truck. We've tested it and driven it on all kinds of roads, exhaustively testing it to make sure it's the best of the bunch. The main topic in today's video, though, is which one is right for all your trucking needs, especially if you like to go off-road. We've assembled 3 flavors of the F-150 in 3 different off-road trims. The FX4, which is kind of mild, the Tremor, which is a bit more medium, and the Raptor with 37-inch tires. That one's the spicy one. Woohoo, trucks! Want to see more truck videos like this? Well, click like and subscribe. And let us know in the comments what trucks you want to see go head to head. And for a cash offer on your car today, go to edmunds.com/sellmycar. First things first, let's talk about how these trucks did in our instrumented testing, what sets them apart, and how they did at the test track. 0 to 60 took just 5.8 seconds in the hybrid FX4, a pretty impressive number with the quarter mile being dealt with in just 14.1 seconds. Braking and skid pad numbers are pretty respectable too, especially when you consider the fact that this big hybrid weighed in at nearly 6,000 pounds. The Tremor drops about 300 pounds of weight without the hybrid batteries and a significant amount of power and torque, but it still keeps up with the Power Boost powertrain. With all its extra equipment, including optional 37-inch tires and beadlock-capable wheels, the Raptor is the heaviest of the bunch. And even though it has more power than the Tremor, it's slower. At 60 miles an hour, it's a dead heat between all 3, but the Raptor is the last to reach the quarter mile, and it takes the longest to come to a stop from 60 miles an hour. Even with the small differences in performance between them, all 3 of these are pretty impressive at the track. What are they like to drive on the road, though? So let's talk about the Lariat in FX4 trim first. This one is the most practical of the bunch, and if you want to see a video about the interior of the F-150, check out our first drive in the card below or wherever it is, or check out our first drive of the Raptor. That shows a lot of the interior as well. But I just want to talk briefly about how these 3 trucks compare on the road. Now, the FX4 is just a little dusting of off-road capability. The lighter duty all-terrain tires and the suspension changes, it's not as hardcore as the Tremor or the Raptor, and that shows in everyday life too. It's more comfortable. It's easier to park. The turning radius isn't as large, especially as the Raptor. And honestly, it's the one that's not as offensive. It's kind of just easy. There's no problems driving it on freeways. It soaks up bumps really, really well. I mean, it's super serene in here. The only thing in this class that's even a little bit more comfortable is the Ram 1500, and it's a close battle between these 2. Look, if you want a dedicated off-roader, I get it. The Tremor and the Raptor makes sense, but this one is better for weekend warriors. People that just want to have a little bit of fun from time to time, and also want something that's easy to live with on a daily basis. Plus, you can get the FX4 package with the hybrid powertrain, which is a pretty cool choice. All right, so now let's talk about the Tremor. It's a bit of a problematic name if you live in California earthquake country, but we'll let that slide. Not like mudslide, though, because that would be... I'm gonna get fired if I keep making natural disaster jokes, so I'm gonna move on to talk about the ride quality in the Tremor. It's a little bit more hardcore underneath, a little bit more of a lift than the FX4, but the tire size is really similar. So small bumps are soaked up pretty well. The big stuff is a little bit less comfortable, and on the highway it's a little bit bouncier, but it's not undrivable on a daily basis. If you want something that's got off-road edge, you're not gonna go wheeling in it, but that is really good to drive in the mud and in the ruts, the Tremor provides that without being too harsh or hardcore. It's a little bit less road trip friendly than the Lariat with the FX4 package in that it's a little bit louder on the highway, but some of that comes down to engine noise because with the Tremor, you only get the one engine. Now, sure, it's all different versions of a twin turbocharged V6, but it's a little louder in this one because it's tuned for high horsepower. The same way that it's a little bit louder in the Raptor, which is tuned for even higher horsepower. And while these tires aren't exactly much larger than the FX4 tires. They are a little bit different compound, so a little bit louder on the freeway. The Raptor is the big boss. And by big, I mean, this thing's really big. It's like way wider than the Tremor and the FX4. And while it's particularly fun to drive in the dirt, which we'll see more of later, it's really impractical in the city. I mean, look, if you live somewhere with really big, wide parking spots where everybody's got a dually and the parking garages have really tall ceilings, or everywhere you go, you can park outdoors, then fine, the Raptor is totally acceptable. But I mean, this thing has got a really big turning radius, especially with the 37-inch tires. Getting it into tight spaces is really difficult. The wide fenders always makes you feel kind of like you're at the limits of your lane on the highway. Then there's the issue of getting in and out of this thing. It's not exactly graceful to climb up into such a high truck. And while I like the exhaust, you know, for Excel runs, kind of drones on the highway, even in the most quiet of modes. And of course, the elephant in the room is fuel economy. The Raptor is obviously the lowest of the bunch. Matter of fact, it's got the lowest MPG rating of any F-150, especially with these 37-inch tires. Then the Tremor comes in at a little bit more respectable number, but the hybrid blows both of them out of the water. It's one of the most fuel-efficient full-size trucks that you can buy. This is the world-famous ziggurat of integrity. It's pretty famous around here anyways. We take a lot of our vehicles up this to see how the articulation does on stuff with four-wheel drive, and honestly, it should be really easy for the Raptor. So we're gonna do the Raptor first, and if I can't do this, I'm just gonna leave. I'll just go home. All right, so I've got it in 4 low because why not? Give it the best chances. I'm sure I could do it in 4 high. I've got the exhaust set to Baja because hopefully that'll help, and the tires are fully inflated. This should be a cakewalk for the Raptor. Oh, there's the first step. Down into a hole. Step 1. Step 2, don't run over the GoPro. Step 2, it seems like I'm up on step 2. Step 3, have I hit the GoPro yet? And the camera is looking out in front of me. I feel like the back wheel is off the ground a little bit. And it is. All right, now the fun part is getting out. I think I'm about 400 yards from the ground at this point. Okay, all right, okay, don't close the door on my own face. Well, I'm up, and a little bit of space down here. So there's, I would say, approximately 3-4 inches down there of space. The thing that's important is you don't lose traction almost all the way up there, which is a lot of articulation on this thing. And then one of the things you can see once you get the Raptor up in the air like this is, well, if it wasn't caked in mud from getting out here, the off-road shocks. You can see all the skid plates, the hardcore bodywork underneath. These aren't exactly rock rails, they're just side steps, but definitely looks well protected underneath here, which is helpful if you're going fast over rocks or even slow over rocks and you don't want to high center it. You got a step stool? You guys know it? All right, I'll get back in. This is the graceful part. Yeah. So obviously with the Tremor, I don't get all the same ground clearance I get with the Raptor, especially with those optional 37s. I also don't get Baja exhaust mode, womp womp. But either way, I'm gonna give it the best chance it can have of making it up to ziggurat without braking, put it in 4 low, just like the Raptor. Don't hurt yourself or anybody else in the process. Hey, up 1 step it feels like. Up a 2nd step it feels like. Now I'm starting to lose traction in the back. Don't fall over, don't fall over. And I'm not to the top, and it is real tippy. That's where I'm gonna stop it, because I don't have a death wish. All right, dear Ford, please make lighter doors. Just kidding, I know they're aluminum or whatever. Okay, not as far to step down that time. Whoa, That's a big difference. All right, so I'm not on the top step this time. I'm kind of on the third one. We'll count it up front. But there is a significantly larger difference there. I would say it's an extra 2 or 3 inches compared to where the Raptor was. I mean, obviously the tires have something to do with that, but one of the cool things you can do too is now see leaf springs instead of coils, which is a big difference when it comes to high speed stuff out in the desert. And you can see the difference in the skid plates. There are fewer of them, or they look less thick. I mean, there's the one there, there's the one up front. I didn't scrape, I didn't high side anything on the pointy bits of the ziggurat, but boy, I'm disappointed it didn't make it all the way to the top. Maybe I need to get 37s and put it on my Tremor. All right, so now we are in the third truck of the bunch. This is the little engine that could. We're gonna see if the hybrid can actually make it up onto the ziggurat at all. It's got such a low hanging front chin spoiler, I don't think it's gonna make it, and I'm gonna have somebody watch it up front so I don't damage a truck that isn't mine. This one is the FX4, so it's got all-terrain tires. It's got the same, 4 low. I don't think it can make it up this. Let's give it a shot though. I'm getting beeps. I'm getting beeps. It doesn't like it. All right, I don't think I can make it. Let's get out and take a look. All right. It's a significantly lower step down than the last two, right? Boy, yeah. That's not even close. So the front grille of the truck would have hit the second stair before the tire even hit the first one. It's pretty close there. And then if I don't slip and fall in the mud here, the plastic down at the bottom, the front air chin that diverts air below the truck is just touching the front of this. So the answer is no, it can't make it up the ziggurat of integrity, and it proves that keep it somewhere else. Don't play on this thing. So because we can't get the FX4 up on the ziggurat, we can't really show you what's underneath. It does get skid plates, it gets hill descent control, which we don't really need here, and it gets the all-terrain tires along with some off-road tuned shocks. What did we learn from putting these 3 trucks here? Well, this isn't the one for crazy articulation stuff, at least not like this. We're gonna take it to an articulation hill in a bit, but the Raptor is clearly the king here, made it all the way up to the top. The Tremor made it almost all the way to the top, and this one didn't even make it on board. So now we are at a test of, let's say, uphill grit for these 3 trucks. It's a lot of articulation. It's not quite as steep at the beginning as the ziggurat of integrity, but we've brought a lot of vehicles here. Wrangler, Bronco, Defender, you name it. The only problem is it's normally dry, and for the last 2 days it has been dumping rain. Now it's all muddy up there. So we'll see just how the Raptor does. 4 low, got the rear locking differential engaged, got my screen ahead of me. I'm gonna try and use the same line for all 3 trucks. I don't wanna go too slow, but I also don't wanna lose momentum and get stuck in the mud essentially. Now, articulation is fine. These are the easier bits at the bottom of the hill. Go left, now right a little bit. Kind of line it up correctly. This is where the big mud rut is. Now I'm just gonna watch my spotter. Right, left, and feel the 4-wheel drive grip in. Raptor is going, and that wasn't very bad at all. Still at a very steep angle, and wait for the sun to disappear behind the horizon. I made it up the hill. I expected the Raptor would do that. Now let's see what the Tremor can do. We are now in the Tremor. I'm gonna take the same route that I took in the Raptor. I'm also in 4 low with the rear locker on. Having my spotter watch this one to make sure I don't scrape it. It doesn't have that front chin spoiler like the FX4 does. And so far so good. A little bit left, a little bit right. Unwind a little bit, trying to straddle this big mud pit. Up, left. Now this one's a little trickier. It is a bit narrower than the Raptor. Oop, I heard the side step there scrape a little bit, so that means it was pretty close. Nothing else seems to have gotten hurt, and we made it up the hill. All right, so not as trouble-free as the Raptor, but it made it. That's good. So now we're in the FX4, and it couldn't make it up to Ziggurat. I don't think it's gonna make it up this hill. I think that front chin spoiler is just gonna get in the way. It's in drive, 4 low, rear locker, same as the other 2 trucks, and I am nervous about this. Gosh, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I wanna hook a Sawzall up to the hybrid bit in the trunk and just cut that front splitter off. Ooh, ooh. See, if I didn't have a spotter, I'd get out and check myself. Oh God, this is not good. I hate this so much. Now I have to take a different route, essentially. I have to be very careful to not bottom it out on anything. Ah, I hate this so much. Now I'm getting the warnings from the impact sensors in the front bumper. Ugh, I have to take an entirely different one. I don't like it, I don't like it. So we made it most of the way up the hill. I can still see the top up there. But the problem apparently this time wasn't the front chin splitter, it was the side. I high centered it here a little bit, didn't damage anything because we have this, but it's not truly a rock rail, so it wouldn't have protected the body if I'd slid it all. And honestly, I didn't want to choose a different route. I wanted to use the same line, and I would have had to go off this line if I wanted this truck to make it all the way to the top. So not surprisingly, the Raptor made it all the way up, pretty much no problem, even with the extra slippiness from the mud. The Tremor made it most of the way up without any issues. There was a little bit of scrapage, but nothing that caused any damage. And the FX4 was just too harrowing. I didn't want to do it. It couldn't make it up the same line. But now we're gonna go do some whoops. All right, so now we're gonna do a completely, I promise it's scientific, it's not scientific, test where I get to race the trucks over whoops. There's a lot of up and down action here, and we're gonna see how fast I can go down to a cone, turn around, come back, make it through the other cones. I'm gonna take the FX4 out first and set a benchmark. We'll see what we can do in the other trucks afterwards. It's totally scientific, I promise. All right, John's gonna count it down.
2, 1,
here we go.
Go.
Okay, take off, I'm in sport mode. Now what I don't wanna do is break these trucks. Oh boy, that's got a lot of bounce. Oh jeez. Oh boy, I gotta go slow in this thing. Okay, turn around the cone. Turn around the cone. Okay. Oh God. Oh, losing a little traction there. These whoops are huge in this thing. Oh my God, trying to avoid them. Okay. Don't break the truck. Don't break the truck. All right, come to the end here. A little bit of acceleration. Oh, boy, that was
36.86 seconds.
Oh, great. That was fun.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, here we go. A little bit more ground clearance in this one. Should make the bumps less terrible. Oh, whoa, oh, geez. That was a big one. Oh boy. I'm in manual mode, and this time I won't use as much to turn around, but keeping it down low in second so it doesn't upshift. Trying to avoid some of these whoops. Oh, God. Oh, the Tremor is fun, but boy, the Raptor is what this is built for. And across the line. Whew, these trucks could take a lot of abuse. All right. How'd I do, John?
36 seconds flat.
So I beat it by a little bit.
Yeah, by pretty much 0.86 seconds. Just a full second quicker. Was it fun?
It was very, very bouncy, but you know, that's a good thing, I think. If you've watched our first drive video of a Raptor, it jumps, it does whoops at 70, it's a wild thing. So I'm gonna hold on for the ride here. I am in Baja. Baja is definitely where I wanna be. Allow a little bit of slip. Off-road use only, yes. And the screen will stay in Baja even at speed. That's the cool part about the Raptor. All right, I'm gonna give John the thumbs up. He'll count me down.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
God, this truck is so fast. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh, there's the big bump. Knew it was coming that time. I knew the course a little bit better. Trying to take this corner without completely messing it up. All right, back. I might have gone too far. Oh boy. Come on, Raptor, don't let me down. 37s. Whoops. Oh, I think I'm gonna. Oh no, that part slowed me down. Oh, I made it.
29.51 seconds. Almost, what, a full 5 seconds faster? I'd say it did it well.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty definitive, and that was with a little screw up on my end. I went a little wide on the turnaround at the back, and the Raptor still got it done.
Well, it sounded a lot better too.
If you can do it, I recommend it. It's pretty fun. So clearly the Tremor and the Raptor can go further off-road. Fine, they win the articulation wars. But the FX4 has something up its sleeve. It can be equipped to trucks with the hybrid powertrain, which bring with them Pro Power Onboard. Pro Power Onboard is essentially a generator that you carry along with you in the truck, and it lets you have power out of the bed. There are 3 different levels, and this one's the highest, 7.2 kilowatts. So I brought along a bunch of my stuff to see how much power I can pull from this truck. So the first thing I'm gonna use is a hot plate. I made some stew last night. I turn on the hot plate, eat the stew for lunch. Do this while you're camping. You can do this in your backyard if you want. If you don't like your stove in the house, or if you're remodeling. All right, how much power am I pulling from the hot plate? 1,000. That's not even 1/7 of the truck's power. Okay, we'll leave the hot plate on, let that get warm. Next thing we've got is a steamer, in case you're going to a fancy campsite. Let's see how much power the steamer pulls. All right, get all the wrinkles out. Still not a lot. We'll say that's done for now. Our blow dryers pull a lot of power, right? They always blow a circuit at the house. How much power now? What? He'll tell me later. All right, I got one final trick up my sleeve. Clearly that's not doing it. Let's do some construction. So I will put this wood here and clamp it down to the bed, which is one of the cool things you can do with this bed, along with this pull-out step. All right, so I've got the clamps on, safety first. All right, let's cut a piece of wood. How much was that? And we're still not pulling 7.2 kilowatts of power. Even when you combine all of those things that I'm using, including the hot plate that's steaming now, it's still not 7.2 kilowatts of power, and I think that makes it pretty cool, even when you compare it to the Raptor and the Tremor. I think the soup's ready. Let's do a quick recap of what we just saw. Which truck won which category? The Raptor is clearly the off-road king. It can do stuff that these other two just can't. Those 37-inch tires are gonna get you a lot of really hard to reach places. The FX4, it's more comfortable and more practical than the other two options. Plus, you can get it with the hybrid powertrain, which is a pretty cool party trick, especially if you like powering your tailgate party or a weekend full of camping activities. The Tremor, though, balances those two things. It's really good at off-roading, while not being totally impractical to drive on a daily basis. And sure, you can't get the 7.2 kilowatts of power, but it does have a plug in the bed, which provides plenty of power for smaller needs. So which truck is right for who? Well, the Raptor looks really good. I love the grille and the big fenders, but man, the fuel economy, and parking it, forget about it if you live anywhere near a city. The FX4, it does a lot of cool stuff. It doesn't have the grunt or make the cool sounds that the Raptor does, but it'll honestly cover like 80% of the off-road activities that most people do. You ever hear that old fable about porridge, the one that's too hot, the one that's too cold, the one that's just right? Well, that's what the Tremor is, at least when it comes to off-roading in Ford pickup trucks. If it were my money, if I had to open up my wallet and put cash down on the table, the truck out of these three that I would get is the Tremor, hands down. For more information on all three of these trucks, click the link in the description below and let us know in the comments, which one would you choose? Which one would you want parked in your driveway? But more importantly, which one would you want to take on adventures on the weekends?